Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going. As I like to point out each and every day, it expands our base. The war between Donald Trump and Elon Musk is everywhere. Oh, except in conservative media. They're playing it down, and I understand why. The alliance between Trump and Musk helped Donald Trump win the election last year. On top of that, his leadership of Doge, which is a fictitious department, created for Donald Trump the ability to implement a lot of the things he said he wanted. Of course, you understand now the Trump administration is scrambling to staff the very people who were eliminated in so many of these job performance areas. It's a fascinating moment because it proves that what Donald Trump and Elon Musk tried to do was a disaster. But more than that, there is a serious issue here of the relationship between two individuals who were mutually dependent. Musk boosted Donald Trump in the election last year with massive funding, millions and millions and millions of dollars. And of course, social media. Trump was lucky because Musk used social media to help Donald Trump win the election. And Musk said so yesterday. He said, "You were elected in large measure because of me." Of course, Donald Trump didn't like to hear that, and Donald Trump is now very angry. Remember, just a week ago, he was presenting a key to the White House to Elon Musk, a golden key. Well, it turns out that it was not such a good match. And now come the problems. Donald Trump even went so far as to say that something we've been saying, that Elon Musk benefited from his contact with Donald Trump. His business gained business. His stock went up. Everything was going splendidly for Elon Musk, and it was because of the partnership with Donald Trump. And the same thing applied for what Elon Musk did for Donald Trump. I told you the story of a good friend of mine who ended up voting for Donald Trump because of Elon Musk, saying, well, if Musk likes him, I like him. But we now understand very clearly that these two men who were once great allies are now at each other's throats. Now, the first report I heard this morning was that there was going to be a phone call. Then I heard Musk didn't want to have a phone call. Or was it Trump who didn't want the phone call? Or did one or the other really want a phone call? And what difference would a phone call make? When the epic history of the Trump administration is written, well, this is going to be a chapter 1. Oh, wait, there's more. Elon Musk talked about the need to impeach Donald Trump. Did you hear me? To impeach Donald Trump. We've talked about that, haven't we? And of course, who is Elon Musk now boosting? None other than J.D. Vance. Said he'd make a wonderful president. And of course, on top of all this is the fact that that great, big, beautiful bill, well, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but I do know this. If Donald Trump is not able to achieve a legislative victory in the United States Senate, holding those senators to account to support his great, big, beautiful bill, his whole domestic agenda is in trouble. Oh, and let's not forget that Donald Trump is facing reversals in the courts. And maybe the most important single thing was the idea of a judge freezing the ban on foreign students at Harvard University. This is not a good week for Donald Trump. But on the other hand, there is a real question about the future of American democracy. You and I have talked about that. I've thundered about it. And you have indicated to me in your letters and emails and phone calls that this is a confrontation which was inevitable. Inevitable or not, it is now here. And the question is the future of the nation. And it does in part depend on the relationship between two individuals. I can only tell you this. I've never been a fan of Elon Musk. All of you know that because I've talked about it. He's a genius, but you will remember that when this whole thing evolved, I pointed out that Henry Ford was a genius, but Henry Ford had a flaw. He hated Jews. Now, there were other flaws as well, his anti-union approach and all the rest. But let's be clear, because you do great things, or because you're exceptionally bright, or because you achieve great things in terms of making money, it does not mean you know how to run a government, nor does it mean you are responsible in other ways. What we are seeing now is the inevitable result of an alliance born of mutual need, mutual advantage, mutual, desire to make an even bigger impact on the country and on the world. One wonders now what will happen. And we're going to get a good indication of that in the next few weeks. Remember that the Republicans are determined that by July 4th, that great, big, beautiful bill, it will be on the president's desk. Problem is, Elon Musk is saying don't vote for it. It's a bad bill. And remember that the Republicans were basing their claim that it was a great idea on Elon Musk. So I listen now to the Republican leadership. Boy, oh boy, have they got a problem. Oh, and by the way, Fox is having a terrible time because here they've been promoting Elon Musk, promoting the alliance between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And now what do they say? I waited for Sean Hannity to make some comment last night on his program. He mumbled a few words, but it meant nothing because it's an embarrassment. But may I be so bold as to say this whole situation is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment for Donald Trump. It's an embarrassment for Elon Musk. But most important of all, it's an embarrassment for the American people. You know, I am reminded of Donald Trump's tenure on The Apprentice. Remember his great line, "You're fired"? You know, they couldn't even agree on why Elon Musk is going. Donald Trump is claiming he fired him. Elon Musk is saying, no, that never happened. Do you understand the inconsistencies? Do you understand the problems? Do you understand that Donald Trump, well, there's a problem. I want to make one other comment, and I realize that there's another issue that should be at the top of our agenda, but because of all this stuff, well, it isn't, and that's Ukraine. The massive Russian attack on Ukraine in retaliation for what the government of Volodymyr Zelensky has done should be the headline of every newspaper, but it isn't. You know what's sad? What's really important in the world seems to be diminished by Donald Trump. The attempt to resolve conflict seemed to be diminished by Donald Trump. And now, whether you deal with Ukraine or the Middle East, what Donald Trump says or does seems not to matter quite so much, except that he is the President of the United States and all of the awesome power of the presidency resides with him. But presidents are not perfect. Presidents do stumble. Presidents make mistakes. And Donald Trump is now, after just a few months as president in his second term, is reaping the whirlwind, not only at home, but abroad. One wonders about Donald Trump and his fitness for the presidency. The only thing he seems to want to do is talk about Joe Biden and investigate Joe Biden. It's a sad commentary on Donald Trump, and a sad commentary on the Republican Party, and a sad comment on where we are in the world. This is going to be a fascinating weekend. I almost wish that it were Monday already so I could see how a lot of this turns out. But, well, that's what makes it so exciting. And so, here on Around the Political World with John Rothman, we will be attentive, we will be interested, we will certainly have views, but we'll have to wait till Monday to flush everything out. It's exciting. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am John Rothman. Make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. Share an episode with a friend or colleague so we can continue to grow and expand, which is, of course, our goal. And I want to thank you, all of you, for your comments, which I receive gladly. It's fascinating. And to Gogo's Ogre, the wonderful producer of this podcast, thanks, Gogo, for everything you do. And of course, Gogo and I will be back on Monday. We'll have a lot to talk about right here on Around the Political World with John Rothman. Have a great weekend.